Anyway, let's go back to the phones. We're going to talk to Amy. Amy, good morning. You're on Cracker Barrel. What's on your mind?
Yeah, I just wanted to call in about the pro-life and pro-choice debate that's been going on.
Okay, what's the issue?
I agree with the caller earlier. I can't remember his name, the guy that called in that was talking about how people are so hypocritical.
John.
I totally agree with John because it's so funny because you start talking to people that are pro-life, and they're pro-life unless the baby's created out of incest or the baby's created out of rape or this or that, or the mom's health is in jeopardy. So I'm a real black and white type personality, and if you're pro-life, you're pro-life, which means you believe you don't abort for any reason.
Right.
So it frustrates me when people say, oh, I'm pro-life, and look down on the people, for making that decision or whatever when they haven't even been in their situation.
Yeah.
But when you ask them, oh, well, what if it's a product of rape or incest, they're like, oh, well, that's different. You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean, and it upsets me as well, Amy. And here's what I think, and popular or not, I think that both people draw lines of belief in this issue. I think they stand behind them, and then I think they don't allow any other thoughts to come in. I don't think they think about it. I think whether you believe it, whether you agree or not, you stand behind that, and then you form your own opinions, and you don't think about anything. And when you've not been in the situation,
right,
it's super easy to make that call, and and that upsets me. It upsets me when people don't think about, well, if a life's a life, then a life's a life.
Exactly. And I'm religious, I believe in God and I'm a Christian, but I also believe that we live in a great country, and that's every woman's choice to make that decision. And, it talks about judgment in the Bible, and everyone will have their day of judgment, and that is for God to decide and not for me. And so that's one of the great things about our country is that you are given the right to decide what you want to do with your body, and it's really none of my business.
Now, Amy,
you know what I mean? And I don't think it's anyone else's business.
No, I definitely hear where you're coming from. Now, Amy, do you have children?
I do have children. And
what were their ages?
I have an 11-month-old.
Oh, wow. So you guys have just got started.
Yeah.
And has that changed your perspective any, would you say, or has it?
No,
has it
really hasn't. And I work with babies. That's what I do for a living. I do mother baby care. And I love babies, but I just think people are very quick to judge others. And some of those people, I agree with John, are very eager to have us all go to war and kill a bunch of people, and they're for the death penalty. But you talk about abortion, and they're like, oh no, that's definitely wrong, and it's thou shalt not kill. So. It's one of those topics that, people are very quick to make a judgment, but all in all, I just don't think it's any of my business.
I see. And I want to ask you this because, I get this from you and John, and to me, I'm more conservative than most, but I get this thought that if you are conservative, then you kind of go along with everything that any other conservative has ever said. I mean,
right.
Is that the thought that once you are pro-life, then you want everything else along with it?
Well, that's the funny thing is, a lot of people that I've talked to, are that way, but, I consider myself to be not one way or the other.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm pro-choice, but, I'm also consider myself to be religious. So, I think for each person, it's their own individual decision on each topic. But a lot of times I think the problem is we do have a tendency to group people,
right.
You know what I mean, just from people that or whatever, but abortion's just a touchy subject, and you get heated debates over it, and people get really irate and upset.
Right, it really is. And my issue was not to bring so much abortion into the picture this morning, but more to talk about why do. And I want to ask you this because obviously you've stated where you stand, and I'm curious to know what you think about as far as folks who this new poll. What do you think that means as far as now we're seeing? This is the first time it's happened in, over a decade. 51% now calling themselves pro-life, as to now it's 42% that call themselves pro-choice. And with the climate, the political climate the way it is, what do you think that means?
Yeah, I don't know because from being in the Midwest and stuff, I consider this area to be very conservative, and most people that I talk to are very much pro-life and anti-abortion. So it doesn't shock me that the poll is that way, but I don't know why it would be now since, the way our country's headed, I don't really know why it would be showing more that way than it has in the past.
I don't know either.
Yeah,
but
I kind of agree with the guy who said, it's kind of a toss-up. Like, you ask people, and that's a sensitive subject, and a lot of people don't want to be really honest. I don't think a lot of times about what they would really do if they were put in a situation like that.
I see. Well, Amy,
you know what I mean? I think
I definitely do. Amy, I'm on a real hard break, and that's why I'm having to kind of, have you. But I appreciate your call and all your thoughts. Thank you for talking with us.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
All right. Yeah, I apologize. We're right up on a break, and we have to really do it quick. I kind of ran late, and I'm sorry. So the news is going to be a little bit late because of my commercials. So we have to pay the bills. Anyway, 577-7000, 1-800-765 KTTS. My only thought, and, I don't know why the poll has changed either. It's a good topic to bring up. And welcome back, Cracker Barrel. Today is KTTS. I am Josh Marsh. And happy to be sitting in here with you guys. We've been talking about a lot of different issues. The latest one is this Gallup poll that just came out. Now, obviously, that's pretty big on people's minds right now. And I have some other information to pass along with that. But I don't want to give it all away too quick because then people join in on my side and that'll be fun. Because I'd rather just hear your independent thoughts and ideas. Real quickly, I want to bring up an idea and a thought. Something that's just happened. That almost breaking news. It's a new law. It's in Missouri. It has to do with dogs. Now, in case you've been holding back and say, I don't want to talk about this subject they're talking about right now, then okay, here's one for you. And I didn't even know this was an issue, but apparently it was. But now it's kind of been taken care of. And this was in Missouri Senate, and the sponsor of this bill, that just is now a law, Matt Bartle of Lee Summit. You guys can give him a high five or a handshake the next time you see him. A new law is based on a real life incident, and basically now it's okay to kill a dog if it attacks you. And not just that, if you're having to defend for your life against a dog, you can kill it and not have to fear being prosecuted or sued by the owner of said death dog. This actually happened. A couple was jogging around Lee Summit, I believe. They were just jogging along, and all of a sudden this dog attacks them. It maims an older lady. And then the man finds himself basically in the struggle for his life. He is down on the ground. This dog is literally, and this is kind of graphic, not terribly graphic, but a little bit graphic. This dog is biting off his fingers, and I mean this is not just like I think this dog nipped at me. This is like this dog is trying to eat my hand and my face, and so this guy basically, this dog's coming at it. It's biting off his fingers. It's snapping at him all over. The guy, and I have no idea because this is a bull mastiff. You guys might be familiar with this breed. Basically, kind of like a pit bull. Strangles the dog. Is able to strangle it with his hands because I guess when you're fighting for your life, you come to this point. Strangles the dog and kills it. And after he comes up bloody, missing fingers, probably panting. I don't know how he didn't have a heart attack. The owner comes to this guy and says, okay, you killed my dog. I'm going to sue you because that was my dog and you killed it. No matter that it tried to kill you, you're getting sued. So this is a new law that's happened. Now you're allowed to kill the dog without getting sued. So if anyone wants to talk about that, we're happy to take those phone calls.